This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by Bees Embroidery and Garment Printing, specializing in custom and personalized decoration of gifts, garments, and more. Call 775-727-9444. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Fire crews responded to a well-involved structure fire early this morning. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Missy Kohler, and we hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday, July 29th.
Well, fire early Wednesday morning destroys a former business near the intersection of Linda Street and Highway 372. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue Chief Scott Lewis says the cause is unknown, but it is suspect in nature.
Around 4 o'clock this morning, crews were dispatched a report of an unknown type fire in the area of Linda and 372. As crews were responding, they were notified that it was in fact a structure fire, but it was undetermined as to what type of structure it was. As crews arrived on location, they found a large, vacant, wood frame structure that was well involved. Most of the walls and the roof had already collapsed down onto the platform. It's in a non-hydrant area, so water supply was established via mobile conveyance, which means our water tenders arrived and supplied the water. Crews made a quick effort, knocked down the main body of fire. The fire is under investigation. There was no power to the property, and there was no other immediate ignition sources, so it is suspect in nature. So our understanding, it was used as a business many, many years ago, and has been vacant for a long period of time. It may have even been infested with infestation of pigeons and things like that. So none of the neighbors knew anyone to be going in and out of the building, and as I stated earlier, it is suspect in nature.
A Pahrump man is under arrest and facing 2 counts of arson in connection with a structure fire last week on Amarillo Avenue. On July 22nd at 11:39 p.m., Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue responded to a report of a structure fire at 451 Amarillo Avenue in Pahrump. Responding units observed smoke and fire emitting from 2 separate rooms in the home. The fires appeared to be set independent of each other, and cans of what appeared to be gasoline were located on the floor of each room that was on fire. Firefighters also smelled a strong odor of a flammable liquid in each room. 3 brothers identified themselves, stating that they live on the property with their mother and father, who were not home at the time. The brothers stated that they had been in a fight and each went to a separate area of the property. 2 of the residents stated that they observed smoke coming from the home their brother Philip Windholz was in. They observed Windholz exiting the home, and he allegedly refused to give the residents a telephone to call 911. The residents said they did not see Windholz with any gasoline cans and did not see him start the fire, but Windholz had allegedly threatened to burn the house down during arguments. Officers noted that Windholz appeared to be under the influence of methamphetamine, and he denied starting the fire. Windholz was taken into custody and charged with 2 counts of arson, first degree for knowingly, and with intent setting 2 separate fires in the home.
Thanks so much, Missy, for that report. Well, the Nevada Division of Child and Family Services is seeking foster caregivers for children in rural communities. That includes Nye County. Lori Nichols is a foster care recruiter. She says children can end up in foster care for a number of reasons, but her goal is to make their transition to foster care as stress-free as possible.
So Nye County is one of those areas, because I'm in Carson City, it seems like to me it gets neglected because it's so far south. It's closer to Clark County than it is, to us here in Carson. Doesn't mean that we don't have just as high a need for foster homes there as anywhere else. So Pahrump is probably one of those communities that we have the most foster homes in, even when you're looking at Carson City, Elko, Winnemucca, any of those more populated rural areas. Nye County steps up for its kids, and we need more foster homes simply because our current foster homes, they get tired and they need a break. They need respite care. We have a huge need for families that will provide respite care, and that supports the foster families, and it helps to get families that may not be used to fostering kind of involved, and they get to meet these kids and see what amazing kids they are. Respite care it gives our foster families the ability to go on a vacation, because some families just want to get away and just go on an adults only vacation or something like that. So respite, they have to go through the same licensing process, but respite is really just a temporary place for a foster child to go Typically, foster parents will use the same respite care providers if they need a break, or maybe they have an emergency and they have to leave the state for some reason. Because then the kids get to know those. It's like having a second set of parents or a set, like grandparents or whatever. And then the kids are used to going over there, and it's just kind of this treat that, the foster parents get a break and respite care providers get to enjoy the kids for a little while. So you have to go through the training process. Right now, due to COVID, we are not holding any in-classroom trainings just to keep everybody safe. You have to go through a background check, which means you have to be fingerprinted. We also do child abuse and neglect registry screening throughout the state. Local law enforcement checks. You also have to have a home inspection completed. And there's a lot of regulations that go with that, but we try to outline that, make sure people understand it ahead of time. We're not just throwing stuff at them like, oh, you have to have this and you have to have that. We want people to be educated and aware of what's going to be required so that they're all good and ready to go for that inspection. Everybody has something to offer this program and these kids, and everybody's got different experiences, different the ways they were raised and so forth. And whether you know it or not, you have the tools to become an amazing foster parent. If you just search into yourself and find out what those tools may be, you can offer a child in need a lot. And it's, even if it's a day, even if it's a week or a month, you are planting seeds in that child that will grow, and you may never see them because those kids get reunified. And that is the main goal of this whole thing, is to get these kids back home.
Well, it takes 4 to 6 months to complete the training and licensing requirements to become a foster caregiver. For more information, you can contact the Nevada Division of Child and Family Services. You can visit them online at dcfs.nv.gov.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have your Business First brief, as well as a story about a Pahrump man who crashed his truck.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back, and thanks for being with us tonight. Tech CEOs appear on Capitol Hill to answer questions about competition practices, and consumer confidence is falling, down 40 points from this year's high in February.
Here's Angela Miles with today's Business First Brief.
Topping our news, traders and investors will be closely watching the action in Washington today. The four titans of tech will be grilled. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg, Google's Sundar Pichai, and Apple's Tim Cook will be answering questions from Congress for the first time as a group. They will be giving testimony remotely about the dominance and power of their companies. Lawmakers have been investigating competition practices of the tech giants. Consumer confidence is falling. The latest read of the Conference Board's index shows a drop to 92.6 in July as COVID infections spread across the nation. The reading in June was 98.3, the high for the year, 132.6, set back in February.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
And John. Well, thanks so much, Angela. Well, a man who crashed his pickup truck at Pahrump, then walked away, is now facing several charges, including DUI.
On July 25th at 8:36 p.m., Nevada Highway Patrol was dispatched to assist Nye County Sheriff's Office in what was at first described as a head-on collision at the intersection of Basin and Murphy. Once officers arrived on scene, they were advised by the property owner that only one vehicle was involved in a rollover and that the male driver had fled the scene. Nye County Fire Chief made contact with the driver of the vehicle at the address the vehicle was registered to. The driver, identified as David Alexander Sharp, was observed having slurred speech, glossy bloodshot eyes, and was red in the face. Sharp allegedly told the fire chief that he had been drinking and crashed on his way home. Sharp was asked if he was injured and stated that he did not know. He was asked to take a field sobriety test, at which time he allegedly said he would not because he was drunk and did not want to waste the officer's time. A preliminary breath test showed Sharp failing with a result of .275. Sharp was assessed for injuries and transported to Nye County Detention Center and booked on DUI second, hit and run with property damage, and driving on a revoked driver's license.
And a records check revealed that Sharp's driver's license was revoked for a DUI in 2018, and Sharp had a DUI conviction just last year. Well, Nye County is reporting 311 confirmed cases of COVID-19 positives this morning, with 3 new cases in Pahrump and 1 in Beatty since we reported on Tuesday night. However, 1 previously reported Pahrump case was transferred to another county due to residency. Reminder that the antibody positives do not count in the county's overall active total. Chemist's laboratory through Serenity Health has partnered with Nye County and the Sheriff's Office to provide drive-up COVID-19 testing for Nye County and surrounding communities. Testing right now in Pahrump is Monday from 7 to 9 p.m., Wednesday 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., and Friday 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. You don't need to pre-register. Just show up with your ID and your insurance card if you have insurance. If you don't have insurance, you may still test. Testing location is at Serenity Health, located at 2280 East Calvada Boulevard, number 301, here in Pahrump. People will be lining up in the Calvada I for the testing. You can also get tested by appointment only from Serenity Health. You can email them if you would like to at pahrump@serenitymentalhealth.org for an appointment. You can also give them a call, 702-234-5398. In Tonopah, they have testing as well. There's 2 different numbers, 775-302-5800 or 775-482-9898.
When we come back, we'll have this week's Save a Pet as well as your health report, so stick around.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Thanks for sticking around. Well, there's nothing better than visiting Grandma and Grandpa, but for months, COVID-19 has forced many of us to keep our distance, as older people are at higher risk and have higher mortality rates. Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Ardashir Hashmi says with careful planning and precautions, it's possible to visit older relatives safely. Before heading out the door, though, he recommends we assess our own health first.
Do we have any symptoms of suggestive of coronavirus? And if we do, it would be important to have ourselves checked and also be very judicious about waiting so that the symptoms are not with us for a good period of time.
Once you've been symptom-free for 14 days, take a close look at who you're visiting and their health status. According to Dr. Hashmi, there are a number of medical conditions that put an older individual at higher risk for contracting COVID-19, including medications that suppress the immune system, any type of lung or heart disease, and cancer. If your loved ones have multiple conditions that put them at greater risk, Dr. Hashmi says it's best to reconsider your visit. When visiting nursing homes or assisted living facilities, you'll want to check and abide by all social distancing and masking requirements. If you're traveling out of town to visit grandparents, be aware of any restrictions in that particular city or state as well. When you arrive, Dr. Hashmi says outdoor visits are best, but if you must be indoors, try opening a window to increase fresh air circulation. He adds that time spent with grandparents is emotionally and socially beneficial for everyone, but will require extra measures to keep them safe.
It's still a visit, but a different visit where the solid core, guidelines of frequent hand washing, hand sanitization with alcohol-based preps, safe measures with social distancing, so at least 6 feet away. Wearing masks, I think, absolutely key.
For families traveling long distances to see older relatives, Dr. Hashmi says it's a good idea to carefully think through logistics. He says traveling by car may mean fewer interactions and less exposure to other people. Also, be sure proper safety measures have been put in place by hotels and airlines you may encounter along the way.
Thanks so much, Brad, for that report. Well, on today's Save a Pet, we meet Blue, a playful dog available for adoption from Desert Haven Animal Society. Darby O'Donnell has more.
Today's Save a Pet is proudly sponsored by Jason Ernest with Mountain West Lawyers. Call 775-727-9500.
Hi, I'm Darby here at Desert Haven Animal Society, and today we are joined with Blue. Blue is a 1-year-old American Staffordshire Terrier mix. He has blue coloring, which is why we named him Blue. So he has a little bit of bluish gray coloring. He has some white around his neck and onto his chest. This boy is amazing. I would honestly adopt him in a heartbeat if I could. He's super energetic, really, really friendly. Immediately came out here, said hi to everybody, started playing with a tennis ball. He's running around. He has a beautiful smile. And he's just so cute. Honestly, just come and see him or any of his friends here at Desert Haven Animal Society. Take him out to the yard, play with him for a little bit. He loves tennis balls. If you would like to come and see Blue, go and give them a call to make an appointment to see him at 775-751-7020, or you can look them up on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Just think, Deanna, you could adopt Blue and be playing with him this weekend
I definitely
outside.
could. Yeah.
Let's take a look
With
outside.
the blue skies
Yeah,
and
I
blue.
know. Let's take a look and see what it looks like out there now. I've been inside all afternoon. Yeah, pretty nice outside. No clouds in the sky. See, you and Blue could be running out there, you know, throwing the ball, playing fetch.
I need
like
another dog.
I know. Got the weather forecast coming right up. Stick around.
News 25 Weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hello and welcome back to News 25. I'm Michael Donahue. Today's weather. In Las Vegas, we had a high of 112 degrees, a low of 81, 120, a low of 85 in Death Valley, 109, a low of 69 in Amargosa, 104, 67 in Beatty, 97 for the high in Goldfield, 96 for the high in Tonopah. Both of those towns had a low of 56 degrees. Now in Carson City, their high is 95 with a low of 55. Fallon breaking triple digits with a high of 101, a low of 60 degrees. And Fernley also in those triple digits with a high of 100 degrees and a low of 62. Now today in Pahrump, we saw sunny skies. Our high today was 107 degrees. Winds coming out of the south-southwest up to 12 miles per hour. 6% humidity, and our sunrise at 5:48 this morning. And for tonight, we're expecting clear skies. Our low is going to be 75 degrees. It's 106 outside currently with winds coming out of the east-southeast up to 7 miles per hour, 8% humidity, and 7:51 tonight for our sunset. Now taking a look ahead to the 7-day, not seeing too many changes. Still expecting sunny skies throughout the week, and our wind speed is still anywhere between 11 to 14 miles per hour. Now for our temperatures from Thursday to Saturday, we're pretty much going to be seeing those highs around 108 and 109 degrees, dropping down to 106 on Sunday, and then down a little bit more from Monday to Wednesday, seeing highs of 104 and 105 degrees. Now for overnights, those are going to start leveling out a little bit. On Thursday, we're going to be seeing a low of 80 degrees, down to 79 on Friday. Then for the weekend, all the way through next Wednesday, we're pretty much going to be seeing the lows around 74 and 75 degrees. And so now with that, we're going to throw it back to the desk with Deanna and Missy.
Thanks so much, Michael. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
I'm Missy Kohler. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.
I'll see you.